almost done. Okay, so let's go to methods in teaching zero English level adults. Okay, because this is the most difficult one. Okay, those zero level, they are the people who are very difficult to teach. Okay, so number one is we have teach relevant and practical content. So functional content they can use immediately, whether that's introducing themselves or ordering in a restaurant or going shopping. So this is the first step to do. Teach relevant and practical content. Okay, so for example, okay, wait. All right, so how will you do this? Teach relevant and practical content. Who can give an example of a relevant and practical content in teaching zero English level student, even not adult? Wants to share? Okay, so this is zero English level. So how can we teach relevant, or who can give an example of a relevant practical content in teaching zero English level adults or young? Who wants to share? Who can give an example of teaching relevant and practical content, especially for those teaching zero English level students? Anyone who want to share? Okay, so what do we need to do, teachers? What do we need to do so that we can teach our student a functional content or a relevant content, since we know that they are zero English level? So what do we need to do? Teacher Charlene, do you have an idea? Or can you please give us an example on how to teach relevant content to our zero English level learners?
Okay, so okay, teaching a having a relevant content during classes depends upon the um, the assessment that you've done during your first class. So if you identify those aspects that they need help or something that needs to be improved, therefore you're going to focus on that. And those, for example, they have already a rote learning, or they have an idea, a prior idea about something. Therefore, you have to nurture it. So having a relevant topics, making a relevant topic depends upon of the assessment of what should they learn. Okay, so what should they learn and what they have to learn. So because we teacher, for example, you're having a non-zero English knowledge students, therefore you're not going to expect that they already understand you. That's why
That's true.
we tend to use the translator. We have to input words word for word, because we are going to expect that they do not understand us. So we are going to find the books that they are it is suitable to them. If we're going to if we have to use the sounds or phonics topic, therefore we have to, because it is the basis, it is the
Yes.
foundation. Okay, so a strong foundation leads to um, a better knowledge in the future. So just like the tree, if it is not, it doesn't have the a strong foundation, therefore we are going to expect that it is weak. It is not nurtured carefully, it is being taken care of. So here, the teachers, it is us again, because we are the one who builds their skills and it will be our trophy. The trophy that will be given to us is their success, their improvement, because they learned English because of us. So that's it, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Teacher Jonah, do you want to add?
Yes, sorry, naka-chat din sa'min. Nagkapatid kasi ako eh, pati yung lola ko.
Oh, okay. All right. So, thank you for that information. Well, that is correct. Okay, and to do that, we need to make sure that as we start teaching our beginners or our students who are zero English level, we need to know them very well first. Okay, so that is the first step. By knowing them, it will be easy for us to choose the relevant topic. For example, if our student is the young learners, like 4 years old, so of course we can teach them the phonics, the alphabets. But if we are teaching adults who are zero English level, we will avoid teaching them the lexical materials like alphabet, pictures. So what we need to do is we will make it more practical to them. Like for example, introducing themselves first because that is very important. Even they're already adults, they must learn how to introduce themselves. So that's the first thing that is very functional for them. And also, while teaching them with that, we need to make sure that it is relatable or it is relevant to them. They can relate it. So that is teach relevant and practical content. So we need to know our student and then we will do that. Okay, for number two, I use visual aids and gestures. We already know this as teacher. We are all aware of using visual aids and gestures. Okay, but who can give an example on how to do it? Okay, so that our knowledge about it will also be enhanced or we can add information. So who wants to give an example on how to use visual aids and gestures, especially in online classes? It is easy in personal classes, face to face. But how about in online? Okay, Teacher Hazel. Okay, you can give an example on how to do it, how to use visual aids and gestures. Teacher Hannah, do you have an idea? How about Teacher Pauline? So how can we use visual aids and gestures in teaching zero English level adults in online class?
Hello,
Teacher
teach.
Chelsea? Yes, teacher.
Okay, I'm trying again, teach.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, teach by showing pictures to the students, showing pictures and other materials like, for example, stuffed toys. What's this? Can you describe this one? Okay, by showing that and your gesture. Are you eating and showing the gesture of eating or
Yeah,
showing
that's
the
true.
picture of an eating person? Okay, that's
Okay.
it, teach.
So yeah, so as online teachers, if we will teach zero English level adults, we're like puppets actually. We need to do something just to make our sometimes it can be a clown, so we can be everything as online teachers if we teach zero English level. So as long as they can understand. We can also do like for example, introducing themselves. We can show a picture having a name tag and then or also we can say it and by pointing ourselves like for example introducing yourself so you will do it first like hello I am teacher how about you so can you please introduce yourself so that will be easy for them if they can see something to follow so that's why we need to use visual aids and gestures in teaching zero English level adults. Okay, for the next one or the next step is this one. Okay, wait, I cannot see my screen. So for number three, we need to ensure to use repetition. Okay, I know most teachers use this, but why it is important to repeat or to use repetition? Okay, who wants to share your idea why it is very important or your experience, how it is effective in teaching zero English level? especially those teachers who has lots of young learners. So how or why it is very important to use repetition in teaching zero English level adults and even young learners.
To test the retention or if they
Okay.
get already stuck.
Yes, and also, like for example, if we will use chants, so it will be easy for them to remember, so they can memorize while we ask them to repeat, and that is effective for me in my experience. So I have 4 years old student, and I used to ask him to repeat every pictures or every name that I showed or every word, and it is effective because it makes him memorize those things. And in our next class, if I review, he will still remember that. So that is very effective in teaching zero English level. Not just adults, but also to the young learners. Okay, next is choose which mistakes to correct. Okay, this is very important, especially as teachers. We tend to, our main goal is to teach them the correct way, like correct way of speaking that, the correct grammar. But why we need to choose which mistakes to correct? How should we do this? Okay, Teacher Justin, do you want to share your idea?
Uy. Sorry. Hi everyone. I'm back.
Okay.
I think actually even
Great.
choose when is the right time not to
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm sorry, this Teacher Justin. I wasn't able to hear you clearly. Okay, I'm sorry about that. All right. So, but still, thank you. I hope other teachers heard it. Okay, so choose which mistakes to correct. It is our responsibility to correct our students so that they will be able to know the correct grammar, the correct structure of sentences, the correct verbs to use. However, we should not waste our time in correcting them word for word, especially in teaching zero English level adults. For example, if your students say, "Teacher, thank you for helping me. I do good progress." Well, we know that do is wrong. The verb use is wrong. We should not say I do good progress. We should say I make good progress. But let's not waste our time correcting the students. So which verb is wrong, which verb is correct. Instead, we will just respond by saying the correct one. For example, for that example, so you can respond, yes, you are making good progress. So you don't have to say that the correct verb to use is make, not do. Okay, so we don't need to correct our student word for word. So we should just focus on which is more important. So that is choosing which mistakes to correct. Next is simplify language and give demonstrations. So how we should do it? How can we make our language or how can we simplify the language that we use? Okay, who wants to share your idea? How can we make it simple? Especially because we're teaching zero English level, so we need to be simple or we need to use simple language at all times. So how can we do it? Who has an idea? How about, okay, Teacher Nem is back. Okay, do you have an idea, Teacher Nem? How to simplify language and give demonstrations. I think Teacher Pauline want to share something or want to share your idea.
Yes, ma'am. For especially for the beginners or zero they have a zero knowledge in English, it's very important to simplify um the choose the simple words for
Yes.
teach to teach them, for them to easily understand the lesson, and then as much as possible use also the repetition for them to retain those information that you will be teaching into the students.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you for that, Teacher Pauline. That's true. Okay, because there is our English level. So we need to be simple. We need to choose those simple words as much as we can. So how can we do it? So in asking questions, we should use what as much as possible. What is this? What is that? So that is one way in simplifying language while we are teaching zero English level adults. Now, also demonstrate them. So you can point something. And for example, you want to ask your student, what is the color of your shirt? So you can say, what is the color of my shirt? So pointing and then using simple questions like the use of what. So that will be very helpful in teaching zero English level. So that is simplifying language and give demonstrations. Okay, so do you have further information about this? Any addition how to teach zero English level? Okay, who wants to share? Who wants to suggest more information? Okay, so teacher Jonna has a message and she said, sometimes real animals and real gestures like eating, running. Yes, that's true, teacher Jonna. Thank you for that. Okay, that is true. That is also very helpful. Okay, so if you don't have further information or suggestion about this topic, so let's proceed to the next part so that this meeting will end soon. Okay, so let's proceed to resource compilation. Okay, so sometimes we don't know what is the correct or what is the best learning materials to use. So we have in Amaya, we are provided a lot of textbooks. So we need to use that. Okay, not only because we are working at Amaya, but also to show appreciation to the admins to prepare this textbooks. Okay, so we need to do this we need to use Amaya's textbooks as much as possible. And also, we can use our own learning materials according to our students' needs because sometimes we cannot see the learning materials that we need in our textbooks in Amaya. So we can use our own learning materials. As for me, I usually use my own learning materials during trial classes. And then after that, I always make sure that I will find relevant learning materials from Amaya's textbooks. We can also use videos, so we should not just rely on our textbook, but we can also add, just like what we said a while ago or we tackled a while ago, we need to integrate technology. So we can use videos like before we introduce the topic, we can let them watch first and then, okay, so based on the picture, based on the video that you've watched, what do you think will be our lesson today? So we can do that. So we can integrate technology to our teaching. So these are the learning materials or the resource compilation. And next is how to assess. Okay, why do we need to assess our students? Teachers, why do we need to assess our students? Even if it's adult or young. Okay, who wants to share? Why do we need to assess our students? Why it is needed? Who wants to share? You're free to share your ideas, your suggestions, further informations. Teacher Chelsea, do you have an idea? Why do we need to assess our students aside from teaching them everything?
Hello, teachers, so that we will know their progress and where or what part that they need to improve. That's it, teach.
Yes, that's true. That is, even though in face-to-face classes, assessment is made so that we can know which one is, or how to help them more. So that is the use of assessment. Now, here are the steps or the methods in assisting our students. First, we can use role-playing exercises. Okay, so it will assess the fluency, the pronunciation, and the ability to use appropriate language. So how can we do that? Okay, in my case, I have an engineer student, and yes, I teach him business English, and we used to do this, role playing exercises. How? We practice dialogue. So we will practice that we are talking about certain topic, and then we will have just a conversation. So that is how we do a role play exercises. So that's how I applied. And you can also make your own way in doing this assessment. Next is the listening comprehension. So how we do that, how we can assess our students. So we can let them watch the video recordings or the audio. And also we can use this in asking them to make their homework. They can record a video of themselves making their homework. So by that, we will be able to know if their listening skills is already good, or which part we need to or they need to enhance, so that we can help them. And also in reading comprehension, please teachers, even your students are adults, let them read. Okay, they need to read everything, because by that we can help them not only to enhance their pronunciation, but also if they can read it, if they can read the words correctly, for sure they can also it will be easy for them to understand that word. So do not be scared, do not be shy to tell them to please read this one, even though the text is too long. Let them read, because that is one way of helping our students so that their tongue will be exercised, because we know Vietnamese students, they cannot even, some of them, or especially those beginners, it will be very difficult to them to pronounce a word correctly. So by asking them to read, we are helping them to exercise their tongue, and also we're helping them to familiarize the word. Okay, so that is the assessment methods for teaching adults. Now let's proceed to the things that we should do and should not. Okay, so here, use authentic materials. Okay, teachers, let's avoid using materials that are copied from other companies, or materials that we just get anywhere. So Amaya give us or provided us learning materials. So let's, as much as we can, let's use it. Okay, you can use materials from other companies or other sources, but make sure that you are allowed to use that. Let's avoid plagiarism. It is a shame to us as teachers that we will be charged as plagiarism because of using unauthentic materials. So we need to stick to authentic materials. And then next is conduct a needs analysis. That is very important. Know your student. Know what they need. So that is needs analysis. Emphasize practical application. So this is also very important. We need to make sure that we are not just spoon feeding things. We are just not spoon feeding them the knowledge, but also we will make sure that they know how to apply it to their daily life. So that is emphasize practical applications. Do encourage active participation. How can we do this, teachers? Active participation. Especially sometimes you have students who are nonchalant. Even no matter how good we are, it seems that they have their own world. So how can we encourage active participation? Anyone who wants to share how you do this? How you encourage active participation? I also want to learn from you. Okay. I really wanted to hear from Teacher O, from Teacher Jonalyn, but unfortunately they cannot. Okay, Teacher Chelsea, how you do this? How you encourage active participation in your class? I think Teacher Chelsea is out. Teacher Charlene, can you share to us how you encourage active participation?
Okay, so um, to give or to have an active participation during the class. For example, you're not going to base on the content that you have. You're also,
Yes.
for example, you're going to ask about the personal experience. For example, for the young learners, for example,
Mm-mm.
there is a picture of ice cream. Okay, so they already know that is ice cream. So to have an active participation, you're going to communicate to them like, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream? Do you like ice cream so much? Or like that. So with this, you make you can have the conversation, and it is this way also you are knowing your student well. So at least the student will know that the teacher is not just after their job, but also give knowing them, and knowing them also will lead to um, loving your teacher. So, yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
Because I have a student wherein, for example, there's a picture. I'm not just going uh, to have a discussion about the picture. I'm also asking for their personal background. So in this way, we have the communication and we know each other. Okay, that's
Okay, that's okay. So that is very good. I will take that. No, I will take note of that. Active participation. So you encourage your you are also building a good relationship with your student. That is really nice. Thank you for that, teacher. Okay, next thing to do is provide constructive feedback. So you okay, what does it mean? Constructive feedback. Teachers, anyone who wants to share what is constructive feedback? What is an example of that? Teacher Pauline, do you have an idea or would you like to share how you give constructive feedback?
Um, Feedbacks could also help the student, or also you should um, give feedback to students to explain of what they are doing correctly, or the things that is also incorrect, so that we could improve in that part on our next lessons, or if I could also give some assignment to the student that he should focus more on this part, so that he can improve.
Okay, thank you for that, Teacher Pauline. Okay, so in giving constructive and providing constructive feedback, let's make sure that we are not biased. I know we want to make the parents happy or we want to make the students happy, but let us not be biased. Whatever is wrong with them, whatever is good with them, we should put it in our feedback so that they will be aware on which part they excel and which part they need to improve. So that is how we provide constructive feedback. Next is variety of assessment methods. We already discussed that a while ago, and encouraging continuous learning. So giving homework in encouraging continuous learning is a must. So that is a very good way of allowing or making our students learn even it is not our class time. So those are the things that we need to do. Now let's proceed to the things that we should avoid. First is use lexical sets. Okay, so who has an idea? What are these lexical sets that we should avoid, especially in teaching adults? Especially in teaching adults who are beginners. Okay, so what is why we should avoid lexical sets? Teacher Marianne, would you like to share your ideas? We want to learn from you. How about Teacher Justine? Teacher Chelsea. Okay, would you like to share why we need to avoid the use of lexical sets? Okay, thank you, Tracer. Okay. All right. We should avoid lexical sets. Okay, sometimes if we know that our student is zero level or zero English level, we tend to choose those easiest topics, like showing them pictures like this because this is very easy, so they can do this. However, we need to remember, we need also to consider that our student is adult. So, for example, we will show the picture of animal. So our adult student would not like that because that is not their goal. Why they enroll, why they want to learn. So we will avoid that. We can use that if our students are young learners, but in adult, we should avoid lexical sets. Okay, next is rely solely on textbooks. We already talked about this. We should not rely on the learning books that we have or learning materials. Of course, we need to integrate something. Videos, ABJs, you can do question and answer strategy. So like that. So we will not rely on textbooks. Next is neglect communication skills. So this is what I said that students must talk and talk. So it is better if the students will talk much than teacher. So if we will teach, especially if we will teach adults, let's make sure that the communication or the speaking part will be from them, not from you as teacher. So let them talk and talk so that the communication will never end. So we can also use the answer and question strategy so that the communication will continue until the end of our lesson. We need also to use or to avoid jargon excessively. They don't need that. Idiomatic expressions, especially those beginners, that is a big no-no. They don't know that. We can use idiomatic expressions if we know how to explain it very well, if we know how to make them understand it very well. But if we are not sure, then let's not use idiomatic expressions. Let's avoid those expressions. Next is do not skip practice opportunities. So sometimes we are in a hurry. We tend to go to the next part because we believe that they already know that. But no, always make sure that you have practice. Review activities so we can do that to help them always remember the previous lessons. And then vague feedback, we should avoid that. Just what I said, we should not be biased. And then rush through topics. Okay, there are teachers or some teachers would think that would set goals or they will have a limitations. They would plan that this topic is for this day and the next topic will be for the next day. So as the result, they will rush through topics. So they will not be able to explain it very well because they want to finish it right away. So that is very wrong. If we will teach our student, we will not be the one who will decide which topic we will do next, but we will wait for them until they will be able to understand the first topic before we will go to the next topic. So that is the don't rush through topics. All right, teachers, do you have further information about the things that we cannot use or we should do in teaching adults and young learners? Okay, all your suggestions, your further informations are welcome. Will be appreciated. All right, so I think none. Okay, and also, but if you have, you can also message me because I really want to know if you have more information about this. So please, you are welcome to chat me, to message me your suggestions or further information. I would love to know that because I would love to learn also from you, teachers. All right, so finally we're done. Thank you so much, teachers. I know you are all busy, but still you spend
Thank you,
time for this
teacher.
conversation. I hope you've learned something. And please, again, you are free to chat me if you want to give more information about this because I also want to learn from you. Okay, thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you,
All right.
teacher
Okay, goodbye.
Joey.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
All right.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good
Thank you
day.
po.
All right.